All right, joining us in studio is All Western New York Award winners, VOYAGR. And I feel like they won like 48 different awards. I'm not really sure what all they won, but they won a lot. So from the left, we've got AJ, then we got Rachel, then we got John. And we're going to start with John and go in the opposite direction.
Thank God.
And really, yes, we'll let John be the guinea pig. Then you'll know what to say, what not to say.
That's perfect, actually.
So we're going to start with John, and basically, I just want to know, first of all, before we even get to introductions, congratulations on all those awards.
Thank you.
You guys, from my perspective, came out of nowhere and then won everything.
We work in silence.
So what I want to do is I want to introduce you all, and then we'll just see where it goes. So, John, pleasure.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice
I'm
to meet
John. I play drums, obviously, with VOYAGR. And I'm also kind of the admin guy as well. So, we like to talk a lot about, we all have our own roles in this band. And so mine is definitely more of the admin, analytical type one. I do most of the booking and management, and just blessed to be doing this with AJ and Rachel.
Right. So where do you live, or where are you from?
I'm from Grand Island. I live in Kenmore right now.
Gotcha. All right. Rach?
Hey.
Is Rach okay?
Rach is fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Rach.
Great.
That's what AJ calls me. John sometimes. Depends on the mood.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically I am a singer-songwriter in the band.
Okay.
I can play instruments. I just haven't perfected them enough to bring them to the table yet. But
What do you play? What
so
do you play badly?
I wouldn't say bad, but I'm just not great. But ukulele and acoustic guitar and electric
I'm a horrible
guitar.
trumpet player.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, you can play though. Ish.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know how to play. I know scales. I can read music, but
Yeah.
I'm not,
More
I'm
than
not
I can.
good. I'm not. Yeah. My fiance is a band teacher.
Okay,
She plays everything.
I'm sure.
Disgusts me.
I'm
right?
probably so good at all of them.
She is. And so, like, I have a trumpet at home, and she's like, we should play. I'm like, we should not play. Like, we should play something that we're the same at. Like, let's play Dr. Mario, because we were both the same level of Dr. Mario.
Right.
But she wants me to play music with her, and I'm like, no. And then I dabble at piano, but, like, not...
Yeah. I know the notes and the chords in piano, but I don't...
I don't do chords at all, but I can play
Oh.
Christmas music.
Oh.
Christmas music is all...
It's all the same.
Yeah, it's the C scale. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Well, anyways, so I just sing and I songwrite right now, and then I kind of run the social medias. AJ and I recently just kind of split off. Like, he's running TikTok a little more. I'm doing Instagram a little more.
TikTok is wild.
Yeah, and I don't want to deal with TikTok. Yeah, they're completely different, and so yeah, that's kind of what I do.
All right.
And I was actually born in Rochester,
Okay.
but I'm from, like, Pembroke area,
Okay.
and then I currently am in Williamsville area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we got a Willieville, we got a Kenmore.
Yep.
AJ.
Hey, I'm AJ Jabaji. I am one of the songwriters with VOYAGR, and my role is essentially writing some songs, whatever I'm feeling, I'll write about it, and then I have been recently taking on TikTok, which is fun and interesting.
I don't get the TikTok.
It's a social media
I'm
platform.
old, I'm 50, and I feel like TikTok is it's beyond. Again, people love it. My fiance constantly sends me things, and I'm like, I can't. I feel like whatever she sends me, I click on it, and that's not the video that I get. And then I'm like, why?
Yeah, that happens to me too, and it like goes to a different video, and then
Right.
I'm like, why are you sending me that? And they're like, oh, that wasn't what I sent you.
Right,
That doesn't make sense.
And so then, like, I feel like the videos never start and they never end. It's just the middle, and like the beginning and ending are cut off. I don't know.
Yeah. So
AJ's mastered it though. I'm not gonna lie, like he has a good hold on it.
it's nice. During the winter, we had some downtime from playing shows and writing and all of that. So I hopped on some calls with our distributor, Venice Music. They host these webinars and teach you all about social media, teach you about what to post, how frequently, not so much how frequently. And I've just been kind of taking those tips and tricks I've learned and essentially just throwing paint at the wall with TikTok, right? Something's got to stick. And
has it stuck?
I mean, we're only 2 days in, right? I mean, I did like a little.
You literally just took this over.
Yeah, I literally just started taking over a couple days ago. Like they gave me the okay a long time ago.
Gotcha.
They gave me the okay back in the fall, and then I just didn't do anything with it.
So if I gave you the okay, do you mean they asked you to do it and you're like, no?
No. It was my idea. I was like, guys, let me take up TikTok, right? And they ended up saying, yeah, okay, let's do it. You got full reign, full control, do whatever you want on that app. And I'm just like, that's dangerous. Jokes aside, but all in all, with TikTok, it's a unique algorithm that I feel like everyone is still trying to crack. Completely different from Instagram, right? Like with TikTok, you want to be posting. I was talking with Stephen Babcock. He's another great Western New York songwriter. Definitely stream his music. He's got a song called "Drunk" coming out on Friday, so give that a stream too. But all in all, he's been kind of showing me or talking to me about TikTok and just the fact that Instagram kind of punishes you if you end up posting too much, whereas TikTok, like, they encourage you to post as much as you want, right. And like it's essentially going to push out your stuff into an algorithm.
More of a voyeur with social media. I watch.
We are voyagers.
Yes. I watch a lot more than I post.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram, literally maybe once a month. TikTok, not at all. And TikTok, I really don't watch, but Instagram, like I'll get sucked into an Instagram loop, and like 3 hours later, and I'm like, oh shit.
That's the thing, man.
It's like to take the dog out.
I am chronically online. Like I tell you, I spend so much time scrolling, even when I'm not.
We're trying to work on that,
right? And like it just got to a point where I'm just like, why am I continuing to scroll, hoping and wishing for things to happen, but yet I'm not putting in the work to.
Do you have favorite creators?
Who was that?
Do you have any favorite creators?
No, I mean, I just follow a lot of local, not local artists. Some local artists. But I'm saying, like, whatever I see that I like, I just end up kind of taking that, and like that inspires me to kind of take that style of posting and apply it towards.
Can we all agree that Facebook is the worst?
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say.
But you have to have it. It's like
Facebook is for like a different crowd of people. Like I feel like TikTok is the youngest generation, Facebook is the oldest, and Instagram's kind of a mix, is what I've learned. Right. And I was gonna also mention, like John said, I think it was like a few months ago, we were at our band retreat and kind of going over some stuff, and in regards to like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot. And John mentioned that the Instagram post, like whatever we do post, it's like quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. And like that stuck with me. I was like, that actually makes so much sense, because if we post and it's like a good post, we don't need to post all the time. Right. But on TikTok, what AJ is trying to say is like we do have to post consistently to pick up.
Because everybody else is posting so much.
Yes. So that's why it's kind of cool that AJ enjoys the TikTok scene. I enjoy the Instagram scene, and kind of Instagram just flows to Facebook. We just like automatically do that.
Right.
So we kind of handle all three social media platforms. Do we have YouTube too?
We have YouTube. Yeah, like you said, Facebook's kind of a necessary evil, because
that's exactly how I feel about it.
We do see like quite a bit of engagement on Facebook.
Right. I'm gonna be honest. I miss MySpace. Did any of you guys have a MySpace?
Tom was my first and only friend.
Yeah. I loved MySpace. And then MySpace kind of got stupid, so everybody switched to Facebook, and then MySpace died. And then I guess there is a MySpace now, but it's not. It's
not the same.
Shit, I didn't know about that.
And so then everybody went to Facebook, and then I don't know, a few years ago, I felt like Facebook was all people that I knew, like in real life, but didn't want to have relationships with. And then like Twitter, I went to Twitter, and it was all people that like we had things in common, but I didn't actually know them. And now Twitter's I think it's just fascist mostly.
Well, it's like X now. It's X.
Yeah.
So you can't even really call it Twitter, apparently. I still call it Twitter.
I still call it Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's mostly like I will go on there, and I have to use them for work. Yeah. So I'll go on there, and so like the All Western New York news feed, everything we post automatically post to Twitter.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, X. So every once in a while, I'll go and just check to make sure that everything's right. And then it's like things you might like, and it's like Mein Führer, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have ADHD and I get off tangent a lot. And so to answer your initial question of where I'm from, Pendleton.
We were coming back to it. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Pendleton. Right. Pendleton, and then now I live in Wheatfield, so it's about I live about 5 minutes from the air base.
All right, so you went to Star Point.
Yeah, Star Point. Yeah.
Right. I'm a Wheatfield grad myself.
Yeah, we had bring your tractor to school day.
Yeah. Star Farm does that.
Days. Star Farm, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll always say, oh yeah, Star Farm.
Yeah.
But yeah, Star
It
Farm.
is a nice country though.
I love it.
As Wheatfield, frankly.
It's so peaceful. I mean, I got a field out in my backyard that I just kind of look out to, and the farmer, he takes his tractor and he does his thing every day. And I don't know. I've had the privilege of living in the suburbs. I've had the privilege of living in crowded kind of areas, and then I've also had the privilege.
Define crowded.
Crowded. I mean, now granted, this isn't like the city of Buffalo, but I've definitely lived in close together houses and all of that, and where there's just a lot of house parties on the street. Sure. It was in Amherst, right over by UV, so that probably explains it. Sure. But and then I lived out in Lockport for a little bit in an apartment, and that was just far from everything. Wasn't really country or anything like that. But after my father had passed away, I moved back in with my mom to help take care of her, and then also to even save up some money of my own. Right. And man, I love how peaceful it is. There's just something about being able to breathe fresh air, and you get to smell the grass, you get to smell all your senses come to life when you're out there.
I'm a city boy myself. We were talking earlier about sports teams, and I mentioned that Buffalo's my favorite team in every sport, and then Washington. I love the city of Washington, D.C. I've always wanted to live in Washington, D.C. My goal for much of my adult life was to live above a convenience store that got robbed once a week.
That's fantastic.
That was I love the life of the city. Yeah. And
so vibrant too.
And where you are now, I'm sure is beautiful. Yeah. But 3 days in, I would. I mean,
you're secluded, right? That's the struggle with being out in out in the country areas is that, if I want to go, I have to go pick up my mom's medicine from Wegmans, right? It's that's a good 20-minute drive. Right. And so it definitely is isolating, and with that comes its own problems, but it also has its benefits as well, right? It's just figuring out which of the lesser of the two evils, right?
And then we got Williamsville, which is its own hell, frankly.
Yeah, I have to say the traffic in Williamsville is insane.
It is.
What I witness literally every day, I'm not even over-exaggerating, every single day.
What about the accident you just saw on the way over here?
Yeah, I got on the thruway, on the 290 actually, and instantly had to stop, and there was a ton of police and ambulance and everything, a lot of lights, and I was like, okay, called them, told them I might be a little late because I don't know how long it's going to take. It didn't take that long, but it's just there's always an accident somewhere, I feel every single day. And my car insurance went up when I changed my address. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. So I know why, because that's an area that gets a lot of traffic. But I used to live in Pembroke, like I was saying. I grew up there, and I was kind of in the scene of what AJ is describing. The night you can smell the grass. It's very farmy. And I enjoy that lifestyle a lot.
Farmy is a word.
It's not. Okay. I made it up.
About to make it a word.
Call me out. But yeah, so I enjoy that lifestyle. I can see myself in the city, my personality and how I connect with people. I can see myself living in the city for a season. Right. And by a season I mean 6 months to a year, but then I get sick of it and I would want to go back to the country. But I don't hate the city. What was that?
Moving to the country, need a lot of peaches?
Oh yeah, I like that song actually. I know that song. But yeah, so I just I do like both. I just think I like the country setting more than the city setting. Right. But I think they both have their perks.
All right. And then John is in the most urban area of all of us, frankly, because I live in Niagara County. Kenmore, I feel like everything's right there.
Yeah, everything's right there.
But you got to go slowly because Kenmore cops do not fool around.
Yeah,
30 mile an hour.
There's cops everywhere. Yeah. I've never had an issue with any of them. But I love Kenmore. I moved there it'll be 3 years this summer, and it's just continued to grow in those 3 years. It was growing prior to me being there, and it's just a great neighborhood. I live right in the village, and everything's right there. Growing up on Grand Island, everything's 20 minutes away.
Right.
So now everything's 3 minutes away. My gym's down
everything's like on land somewhere else.
Right.
Like there's nothing really on Grand Island, I feel like.
Well,
there's no
I
Wegmans.
had a friend that used to live on Grand Island, and we worked at the Tonawanda News together, and she just loved the trains. And I'm like, what is it with the trains? She's like, we don't have any trains. I'm like, why don't you have trains? She's like, have you ever seen a train go over the Grand Island Bridge? And I'm like, nope, I have not.
No.
Yeah.
And there's like there's like stuff there, but there's not like a Wegmans. There's not like coffee shops. Like there's not like
tops
things.
there.
Yeah,
they got tops.
You have to go off the island for everything.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, that's why I have such an appreciation for Kenmore's, because I have everything I need right there. And it's just like it's a really great neighborhood. I love living there.
I got stopped by the Kenmore police a few years ago going like 33.
No.
And it was at like 3 in the morning, right? And like, dude just refused to believe that I had not been drinking. It just like, he was sure he got, like, because it was 3 in the morning. It's a very reasonable assumption. But, maybe get out of the car and do the whole walk and turn and still, I drew the breath 0.00. So finally he let me go, but it was like half an hour later. I'm like, dude, I just want to go home.
Wow.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like you were going like 50. You were going 33.
Right. And they will pull you over at 33.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They will.
All right. So that was a very long introduction, but I appreciate it.
We're good. Yeah.
So how did you guys meet? How did you become Voyager?
So we had. Sorry, what were you gonna talk?
No, you take it on because you started it really. Like you started.
Yeah. So we had all known each other and met through a local church called the Chapel, and then through like the college age ministry and
The Chapel out in Millersport?
Yeah, that area. And whatchamacallit, so that was something that I was like deep into right up probably until I was maybe like in my early to mid 20s. I'm 29 right now. But all in all, we were all doing music separately, and then John was always I respected the hell out of this dude as a drummer and even as a person, right? And then Rachel too, met her, and I've never met anyone that could harmonize as well as she can. And so we started off with me doing my solo music, and then I had a song called Lover's Lie that I was really heavy with kind of trying to push, and then after that we played a show at the Cave as solo. We opened up for this band called Flues, and then we had been like, wow, this was a lot of fun. Let's do it again. And so we ended up doing it again.
Right.
And then this was right around COVID. I want to say 2022 was when we officially launched, but 2021 was when we started getting together, and then Rachel was just like, why don't we make this a band? And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, and I'll interrupt you there because there was like a project that AJ was working on his own.
I was getting there.
And he sent the project to us, and he said it was called Voyager. So that was like prior to the story of me reaching out to them saying I want to be a band.
Did the E get lost in the email?
It did. That was a good one. That was so good.
I love it.
But yeah, so the E got lost because we wanted to be different.
Sure.
We wanted to be cool.
I was about to say I wanted to be like cool.
Yeah,
right.
I like
what is
my
even
spell check
that?
does like,
right?
Yeah, neither does ours. Neither does any of our spell checks.
One spell check likes us, but you can find us easily.
Right.
Yeah, because you just take out the E.
You'll find us.
Yeah. So I would say like when he sent the project and like that was the name of it, and then we all got together, and we were doing live music together at different places, different settings. And when I was like, guys, we should just be a band. Like we are already doing the thing, and we sound great. And then they were like,
than me,
were like, what should we call ourselves? And I was like, Voyager. Why not? So that's why we did Voyager and where it came from. And then ever since then, it was April 1st of 2022. Is that the right year?
Yep.
And
it's not an April.
And it wasn't a joke, so that's why we did it. So
I don't know if you realize this. The All West New York Awards are announced on April 1st every year.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because April 1st is the anniversary of All West New York Radio.
That's so
All
cool.
West New York Radio kicked off April 1st of 2006.
That's awesome.
So
then our band anniversary is the same as yours.
All right.
That's perfect.
Stars,
so
right?
I'm just throwing this out there. We've got some things in the works. Next year is 20 years. We want to have a big 20-year anniversary party.
Yeah.
Oh.
It'd be kind of cool to have a band that shared a birthday. throwing that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a contract you can sign.
All right.
And we can email it
All
with
right.
the E.
With the E? With the E.
With the E. Yeah.
So, musical styles. How did you guys end up where you're at? Did you have the same thought process, or was there a debate, a fist fight? What happened?
It just kind of came naturally. Like
No, there was a fist fight.
AJ
John won.
was making some really great kind of Americana indie folk style music with his solo project that he mentioned earlier.
Now, is that what... No, so, you won, like, country, Americana, folk, like... I feel like you won all the categories. What do you consider yourself? Americana?
We consider ourselves
folk country.
a folk country.
Country?
Yeah,
Folk
country
country
is the short answer.
Right.
There's Americana in our music. There's more indie references in our music, but the short answer we give people is folk country.
Gotcha.
We definitely recognize we're more of a subgenre of country.
All right.
There's some commercial sounding country in some of our music, but we fully recognize we're more of a subgenre of that.
We're not the honky tonk.
So yeah, we're not
people
country.
might think of.
Well, I do feel like country has... I'm not a country fan. Just want to throw that out there. And I feel like there are a lot of people like me, and so country kind of has a bad rap. But Americana, everybody loves Americana. And it's weird because they're like this far apart. You know, Mumford and Sons is like this close to being country.
Yeah, they actually just played Stagecoach this past year, which is a country festival.
Right. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Mumford and Sons is universally loved. Right. But they're that close to being country, and I feel like there are a lot of people that, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, we never
saying words.
We never, it's funny because AJ and I were talking about this not too long ago. Our first EP came out in 2022, so we were a band for a year, and there's some like Lover's Lie and another song called Oh Brother, which is definitely very similar to what we are doing now. And then there's another song that Rachel wrote called Think of You, which is this very kind of Phoebe Bridgers-esque like sad folk song, and then a cover of Billie Eilish's Lovely. And so we were just talking about how while that EP might not totally represent who we are right now, there's still a lot of a lot of us in that EP, and it's very much us finding ourselves.
Gotcha.
And if you listen to, I think
that's the theme of Oh Brother right there, is finding yourself.
Right.
You know?
I think if you listen to all the EPs consecutively, you start to get a hint of like, okay, this tracks. Like I can see where they got from EP 1 to our latest EP, and then we'll be dropping an album this fall.
Is Oh Brother inspired by Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Yeah, actually, speaking of which, in third grade, there was chorus that I was in, and we had to do this. We learned about like the chain gang style, songs, and what was played was a clip from Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
Saga Data Boys is fire.
Yeah. And I don't remember much of the movie, but yeah, so that's what I immediately thought of when you mentioned that. But no, Oh Brother, that really came from a spot of trying to deal with and process through hurt in relationships, not necessarily love relationships, but just like friendships, deep friendships that you had for a long time that like might fizzle out, fade out, or something was done that caused a tremendous amount of hurt, and it's like I need to take time away. And the friendship might still be salvageable, right? Like we still are going to be friends, but like right now I need time to process through that, and only time will tell if that friendship works out, right? And so it's funny, like you think about like the journey of a song, right? And like a song that you write now might not serve you well, and you might not be able to live through it until, a couple of years or a few years down the road. And so that was something that a mentor of mine had also told me, was that the songs that you write now might not serve you any purpose right now. It might take a couple of years, but let me tell you, it's going to serve you in that moment, like a couple of years down the road or whatnot.
Do you remember the stuff that you were forced to read in like middle school and high school?
Yeah.
So when my oldest daughter, who is now 26, when she was in high school, I read all the books with her that I had previously read. Dude, they hit so different.
They do.
I feel like a lot of the stuff that we're forced to read in high school, we don't have the knowledge, the life experience
that's it.
to get it.
Yeah.
And so rereading these things as a then, 40-year-old or whatever, it's like, wow, like it really is good stuff. It's just not good stuff for a 16-year-old. And I feel like you're saying the same thing, that like you might write something that might not hit for you today, but it's going to hit for somebody today, and it might hit for you later, or maybe it might not.
Every song has always come back and hit me.
Really?
At some point. Absolutely.
Yes, I can confirm.
Yeah, and there's some seasons where we've had Lovers Lie Out for a few years now, right? And that's a song that I had written, I want to say, almost 10 years ago, probably when I was like, I want to say 18 or 19. And that song, like, man, if you get into a messy relationship or you have that unrequited love, like I've had so many of those instances, and like that song just like hits you right when you sing it. Same thing with even like Scars, a song that Rachel had wrote. And there's moments where you really just love the song, and there's other moments where you might not listen to it, but then, man, it'll end up like once you listen to it again, it'll hit you right in the feels. It all depends on really what you're going through. And that's it. Like, we want to write songs that people can relate to. Like, we want to put it in a simple enough way that any person can hang on to that and, like, get something out of it, right?
Some bands are always writing and performing. Some bands write a bunch, then perform, then take a break from performing and get back to writing. How do you guys do it?
So I think that I could start off by saying for the past couple years, we've established that we're going to take a band retreat once a year.
All right.
And it started off I was on a 6-month road trip, and I ended up in Colorado. And I essentially...
Don't you hate when you just end up in Colorado?
No, I didn't hate it at all. I didn't hate it at all.
You took the left at Albuquerque.
Yes. And so these two, I invited them out for like a weekend, and I was like, let's just like write and hang out and get coffee and talk about whatever. And I had written the song Canyon Winds on the road when I was out that way. But I wrote that after the band retreat, but before on the band retreat, is what we call it, the band retreat. We just kind of wrote Born a Believer together as a band in our Airbnb. Like, AJ started strumming and started playing and singing, and then John and I were like, whoa. Like, it was just like a moment, like, that's, okay, this is a song. And then we all kind of collectively wrote it together. And I'll let John or AJ explain the Born a Believer song. But basically we took that retreat, and then the following year we went to Nashville. And our buddy, he's our producer as well, he lives in Nashville, so he produced our song Scars in Nashville, and we did our retreat at the same time. And then this year went to the Adirondacks, and then we wrote our new song that is unreleased.
So you do most of your writing on the road, it sounds like.
I do, personally.
It starts on the road, I would say.
And it starts on the road.
I would say, to answer your question directly, typically a lot of our writing happens earlier in the year.
Right.
And then early spring, like we're currently tracking the final songs for our album that's coming out in the fall. So early in the year, first half of the year is typically writing and recording. And then as, shows pick up in the summer, we're usually finishing up the recording process and are able to kind of focus directly on shows.
Right, so that perfectly blends to what I wanted to talk about next. It seems like all the festivals are starting to announce things. Do you guys got any cool shows lined up for the summer?
Yeah, we are opening Taste of Country down at Salem Field this year.
No shiz.
Yeah, so we won. We won they do kind of a battle of the bands called Taste of Country Risers each year, and so we actually won the competition last spring. We're supposed to open it last year, but was cut due to some production issues and weather issues. So they allowed us to come back for this year, so we'll be opening that in June. We'll also be at North by Northeast in June up in Toronto, which is a really cool festival, kind of similar to a South by Southwest. We're also going to be at a festival called the Wounded Warriors, Southern Tier Wounded Warriors Benefit Concert, opening for Low Cash. And then we'll be finishing out the summer in Connecticut at a festival called Black Bear Americana Music Festival.
Very cool.
Yeah, so this is like our first tour, essentially. Just because we're in Buffalo, we're in Toronto, we're in Buffalo, we're in Connecticut, and...
Olean.
What did I say?
We're going to Olean.
Oh. Well, we were in Buffalo the past 2 years. So we're in Buffalo, but we're also expanding out to Toronto, Connecticut, and Olean.
Right.
So we have all these different areas where, like, we're like, oh, like, this is a tour. Like, this isn't just... We're not just going to shows.
Right.
So we're really proud of ourselves for this year, just being able to... like, we didn't really obviously set it up. We got asked to be part of some of these, and then we applied for some of them. So it's a kind of a cool combination as a new band. And then we have some local shows like Craft Coffee House. We have one, if you're familiar. It's in Pendleton. But we love it there. They're
Back
like
to the old
our
stomping
besties.
grounds.
Yeah.
They gave us our first show, so we'll always be indebted to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're there. We usually do like a fun event with them. So they're celebrating their 7 years as a business.
Cool.
So we're going to be there for a couple hours. They have some good barbecue,
Dude,
coffee
they got
and cocktails.
damn good brisket. My God, dude, it is so freaking good.
Really?
I love it.
Yeah.
Great food. Really like a hole-in-the-wall place, but amazing food, amazing coffee.
Isn't that always the way, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the best food is from a place that you're kind of afraid to go into.
But this isn't even a hole-in-the-wall place.
yeah, I
This
guess
is
hole-in-the-wall.
this is a very like it's a beautiful building and beautiful interior, and like I know that when we think of hole-in-the-wall, we think of like like not so appealing, all that kind of stuff. But I think what John was saying by hole-in-the-wall is like it's not well known.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. But I think, we're on an all Western New York podcast, so I might as well plug it because it's in Pendleton.
I guess.
So, Western New York.
Yeah, plug anything you like.
Yeah.
What do you guys all do professionally?
I work in marketing,
All right.
so I went to UB for undergrad.
Gotcha.
Was a communications major. Was really involved with the music program there.
All right.
So I did like symphony orchestra. I did concert band, jazz band, percussion ensemble, modern dance. You name it. Was involved with all kind of music there. But
So there are two marketings. There's
Yeah.
marketing, which is public relations,
Yeah.
and then there's marketing, which is sales.
Yeah.
Which do you do?
I would be, if you were going to classify into one of those, I would be more in the public relations realm of things. So I work on a in-house marketing team
Gotcha.
doing web production. I am not sales. I do not have the demeanor for sales.
I several years ago was job hunting and had applied for a job. It was a marketing position. And they emailed and said, we'd like to come in for an interview. I called and I said, hey, just want to make sure that this position is marketing, it's not sales. Like, because I'm looking for public relations. I have no sales experience and I have no interest in sales. They said, no, it's marketing, it's not sales. So I go to the interview, I walk in and sit down at the desk in front of the person that's interviewing me, and he goes, now you've got a lot of journalism in your career. Why do you want to go into sales? I kid you not. I said, I don't, and I left.
You gotta be up front. You gotta be up front.
All right, so we got marketing?
Yeah.
So I have like 3 jobs.
All right.
So I first and foremost am a coffee roaster. I just roast the beans and I enjoy it. It's kind of my me time in this season of my life. I work at a coffee shop called Goodrich Coffee and Tea in Clarence.
Okay.
I've worked there for almost 7 years. So I was a full-time manager at one point, but then I got married and started my own business. So that's my second job. I do wedding planning, coordinating, and design.
All right.
Just started that literally in January.
Okay.
And then my third job is I work with a florist, a wedding florist, Catherine Rose Floral Design.
So
Yeah.
I'm getting married on Sunday.
Are you?
Congratulations.
Do you need any last-minute help?
Oh, God,
You're all
no.
set.
He's like,
We're
I'm
set.
good.
We're good.
Perfect.
My tie came by FedEx today. That was the last thing I needed.
Oh, then
So,
you're great.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thank you.
But yeah, so, and then this is a job for me, but I just figured that was a known, so
Understood.
I didn't list it.
Yeah,
but
no,
it is. Voyager is a very much priority and important part of my life. So,
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's exciting. So I thought do you already refer to each other as husband and wife?
Nope.
I thought you said my wife.
Nope. I've said fiance a couple times.
You did.
I can fact check that and confirm.
Was that,
he
maybe
said-
I was
he
hearing
said
wife because I heard the
fiance.
wedding bells ringing.
So if this show were next week, it would be wife.
Oh, okay.
But no. So for now, she still has like 6 days to like.
To enjoy the
figure it out and
fiance
run away.
label? Oh. But that's exciting.
To realize her mistakes and go.
How long have you guys been engaged?
So we just got engaged in January.
Oh.
We've been together for
For a
about 4
while?
years.
Yeah.
So
Well, season of life is different for everyone.
Yeah.
Like some people take a long time, like 2 years for engagement. Some people take 8 months.
as an old person, I mean, really, once you start dating in your 40s, like,
Yeah.
you know that there's a possibility. So we've literally been talking about getting married since we started dating.
Right.
And then it's always been like, I'm not opposed to it, but moment of truth. She makes very good money. I'm poor. I wanted us to be on more equal footing.
Okay.
And she was fine with that. And then earlier this year, she decided she was no longer fine with that. And she's like, all right, let's just do it. So
Yeah.
she goes May 25th, 25. She goes 5/25/25. I said, all right, let's do it. So
That's awesome.
that was so she kind of proposed to me, but then I had to do the whole thing on the knee with the ring and the
the whole thing.
So I officially proposed to her, but basically she told me ahead of time, this is what we're doing. And I
Maybe
said, yes,
I saw the ring. Maybe that's why I thought you were already married too.
That could be too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, I know someone else that wore their wedding ring before they got married because they just want to do it for fun. I'm like, hey, do your thing, you know.
All sorts of inside baseball here. I was previously married.
Okay.
And we were married for 15 years. And I have an indentation. And I would find that every once in a while I would miss my ring. So a few years ago, I just bought a ring. And
it matches your glasses.
I have different colors.
I could tell. I had a feeling because of your shirt. I was like, you probably has one to match every shark.
I do. I mean, I have different colored glasses, too. Like,
that's fantastic.
Washington Nationals. We got some blue. I got a clear. I got a Kevin Costner and JFK.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I literally have like 11 different pairs of glasses. And then all of these go on my glasses frames.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Cool.
That's great.
Anyway, so yeah. Very cool.
Thank you.
AJ.
Got a boring job, folks. I used to be an EMT for a couple of years. But I was working like 60 hours a week.
Oh, yeah.
And it just, when you're really trying to
for really crap pay.
Yeah, I mean, I made more money there than I am making now currently. So right now I do debt settlement. So I'm like the opposite of collections. So essentially, you're calling us to, see if we can call the creditor to, take off some of the interest and the money there that's owed. But it's an office job, or a work from home office job, and it's really good for me in regards to just like I get to focus on Voyager just as much as I do my own
Is it fulfilling? Job. I feel like it would be like personally fulfilling to help people sort out their lives.
Voyager's fulfilling for me. I'll say that.
Noted.
I was doing before I was an EMT. I was doing debt settlement as well for 4 years with a company and called Strategic Financial Solutions. And if you look it up, they actually got shut down by the Attorney General's office.
These things happen.
So look up what happened there. But I wasn't involved with that, thankfully. I was on the like actual legal side of things. But anyways, speaking I wanted to get away from that, so I really wanted to help people. And yeah, I'm helping people financially in that regard, but I wanted to do more because I love health. I love medicine, and all in all, I loved the EMS kind of lifestyle for a little bit. But all in all, dude, like 60 hours a week, constantly staying on a street corner, waiting for those calls. And those calls, the hospital system, a lot of people treat the hospital just like a primary doctor. Yeah. And it's like we sit there and we wonder why, it takes so long to be seen, or why, you're sitting out in the waiting room. And it's because, people are going in for a reason that they should be going to their primary doctor for. But that's a conversation for a different day.
One of my best friends, who is now a nurse practitioner, was maybe 15 years ago or so, an ER nurse at ECMC.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with the plight.
Yeah, and so all in all, ended up leaving EMS, got back into debt settlement. One of my old bosses hired me on where I'm at currently. And, like I said, it just gives me a chance to work on music and actually feel clear-minded.
Right.
Now, granted, what's kind of crazy is that when I was actually, in EMS, I felt a lot more sane and a lot more calm in the crazy moments.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
it was its own release.
It was, yeah. And I don't know if that's just something for neurodivergence or anything like that, but that was where I found my peace.
Gotcha.
So now, yeah, I get to work on Voyager pretty much just as many hours as I work full time, right? The effort that you put into, your hopes and dreams, that's what you're going to get out of it,
sure.
Right? So if we're all collectively putting in all of our time into it, eventually something's going to happen, right? It's only a matter of time. And so I think this past year we all really started to dive into the fact that we got to be doing this just as much as we're doing for our other priorities, our other commitments and all that. And by all means, this has felt like the best year as the band that we've ever felt.
Very good.
Yeah, I would say to like piggyback off that, the band retreat, like this year, like even though in my brain I was like, oh, I really want to go out of state and go somewhere cool, but like the Adirondacks is cool, and it's not that far away, and we wanted to kind of, you know, make sure we're a little closer, just so we could drive there, drive home, no problem. And so for me, like I was like, okay, like when we go on this retreat, like we always do our goals, and we set goals individually and then collectively as a band. So I feel like this is our third one, so we just naturally know what to do and how to come prepared. And I would say like the same thing as AJ, like this year so far has been such a good year for us, and we feel very refreshed and like ready to go. And I think a lot of it had to do with the band retreat being our third one in a row, but also like we were definitely more productive, I feel, and prepared.
Yeah, the band retreats really help set us up for each year. I think they're a great time, one, to get away, but two, to, like Rachel was saying, we all set goals individually for what we want to see happen with the band, and then as a group. And it helps us be able to come up with measurable goals and, like, ask the question at the end of the year, like, you know, we'll know at the end of the year if it is a successful year because we know what we're aiming for.
Gotcha.
And I think one thing that we talked about at our last gig, we were at the Cavs. We opened up for Huntley. I don't know if you were familiar.
Cavs is a great new venue, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Man,
phenomenal.
I love it. Yeah.
Talk
So
about
nice.
plugging all Western New York stuff. That's a good one.
Dude, I love Andre. Love everything he's doing at the Cavs.
Oh,
it
it's so
is.
cool.
If you guys haven't, to our listeners here, like if you haven't gone to the Cavs, just go out to one show. You won't regret it. It's a beautiful venue and amazing food. Yeah, great hospitality too.
But what I was saying was we were talking to Huntley in the green room, and he won The Voice in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of picking his brain on like that and the process and whatever. And then he ended up telling us like yeah, it was cool to win and everything, but like he's doing his own thing. He's like writing his own music and he's doing his own path. And he told us, he's like, it's not up to other people to define your success. It's up to you.
Right.
And like that like really stuck with me because I was like, that's what we're doing. Like we all three of us, we have our goals and we know our worth and our value and we know what defines Voyager, and like I think we're on the right path, and like we feel as if like our success is within like achieving our goals every year, and so far every year we do achieve all of our goals and then some. Yep. So I think that's where our gratefulness and our like positive attitudes are kind of coming from, is that we see that we set these goals and then we achieve them.
Right.
So I think it kind of speaks for itself, but I would just throw that in there just to add a little bit of why we are so proud of ourselves this year so far, is because we've been doing all those achievements.
So I hate to do this, but we're like way over the allotted time. So we kind of got to wrap things up.
That's fine.
Anything that you guys wanted to get out there that has not yet, now is the opportunity.
Yeah, you know, we'd love to see you on one of our stops and come up, say hi to us, and we'd love to get to know you. And yeah, we're just so thankful to everyone who has supported us, everyone who has voted for us for the All Western New York Awards, and really just everyone who continues to show up and show out day in and day out. Right? Like
that rhymed.
That's the writer in me, right? We can't do any of this stuff without y'all. Like and this is what it comes down to, right? Like, we can continue to write songs and make music, but, like, we have the songs that we write for ourselves, but we also write them for other people, too, and in the hopes that you can relate to it. And so, without y'all, we wouldn't be doing any of this. None of it would be made possible. So,
yeah, I would just echo those statements. I would say, we appreciate every follow we get, everyone that comes out to a show. We've had a lot of people within the last 6 to 8 months buy tickets and come out to shows that we had no prior connection with, people who just found our music and have been fans, and that means the world to us. So, like AJ was saying, we'd love to see anyone come out to a show this year. Our first album's dropping in the fall, and we're just super excited about that as well.
All right.
I guess to end it, once again, thank you to everyone who supports and follows and listens. And our two latest songs, Go On and Get Out and Scars, those are special just because AJ wrote the one and I wrote the other. And I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to say Go On and Get Out. I wrote that with our bassist, Drew Shannon, who I will always give him some props, because that dude is a beautiful lyricist and a beautiful writer. And co-writing, that's a whole different conversation, but he has become such a good co-writing teammate with all of us here in Voyager. So
But yeah, I just wanted to reiterate, we are spelled VOYAGR. There's no E. So if you are looking for us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, anything, Amazon Music, there's just no E. So we appreciate all the streams and all of the support. So thank you guys so much.
All right, so I like to close out with a song. Why don't we do so with Go On and Get Out?
Sure.
Great.
Let's do it. When do you guys want to introduce it?
I will.
Yeah.
All right. So this song is Go On and Get Out, our latest release.
And we'll see you later.